Welcome back to Wargaming Shut Up and Jam Guide, where we're going to talk about the Cryx Battlebox, the new Mark III Awesome Edition.
Cryx now!
So, the Battlebox comes with Slayer, Reaper, Deathripper, and Bane Witch Agathia?
Agathia.
I was right the first time.
Witch Agathia.
Let's talk about the Deathripper. Deathripper comes in at whopping 6 points.
It's an arc node.
It's an arc node. And I'd say it has an attack, but let's forget about it.
It's an arc node.
It's got sustained attack.
It's an arc node.
If it ever hits something, it
it's
could be
an arc node.
It's an arc node. Yeah, you're going to wander around the battlefield being an arc node. That's pretty much it.
It's cheap. It's pretty fragile. It's fast. All it is there for really is to arc spells. It can technically make melee attacks.
Hey man, POW 12s.
Hey, it can slam too. It's not like it's useless otherwise. It's just 90% of the time you will use it to arc spells and nothing else.
Fair. Let's talk about the Slayer first, actually, because from what I was understanding, the Slayer is kind of the de facto standard that they built the rest of Mark III on.
Yeah, they balanced the Slayer in at 10 points and then weighed everything else in against it.
So you ended up getting something disgusting for 10 points. So armor 17's got a handful of boxes. It's not terribly resilient as it's a Cryx Jack.
Defense 13, which is higher than most jacks, but still.
Yeah, but I mean, not that hard to hit, especially now that everything gets higher mat. But double Deathclaw, so open fist, are they open fist? Yeah, open fist, POW 16s, and tusks at POW 12. Combo strikes to, its Deathclaw has combo strike, so you can get yourself up to a respectable POW level of 22. And
you can use that as a charge attack too, just rip something apart.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because it's a combo strike. It's a special attack on the melee weapon.
Oh, okay. And then it's got hard head, so it can add its weapon's POW to its headbutt and slam power attack damage rolls, which is nice.
Like some POW 12 instead of POW 10.
I mean, that's nice. I think for 10 points, it's a phenomenal buy.
Like, Speed 6 Mat 7 is not to be scoffed at. Thing's a fucking terror.
And I mean, yeah, okay, it's easy to destroy, but if you don't destroy it, it's going to get work done.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be relevant. And 10 points, I don't see any Cryx list that would really feel bad about having one or two of them in.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far because there are more specific options. Like the Slayer is kind of a generic beat stick. I
mean, I guess the thing is, the only place where I think a Slayer would really not be great for you is if you're taking a Colossal.
Or if you're up against like particularly heavy armor, like...
Still POW 22 on the charge.
Yeah, but that's only one attack. It's a good attack, don't get me wrong, but like you could run Deathjack or you could run like something that hits harder.
Then we got the Reaper at 13 points.
Which hits... Oh, it doesn't hit harder. I was about to say it hits harder, but it doesn't. So, I mean, same sort of deal as Mark II, where you can harpoon something, drag it back in, so from 8 inches away, that's pretty sweet. Sustained attack on its Hell Driver, which is an awesome name, but also POW 16. Also Reach 2.
Although if you've got the harpoon, I mean, I think reach on this jack in particular matters less, but...
Sure, but like, you still get the charge attack if you charge in.
And then it's got tusks with hard head as well. Very similar. Extra 3 points that I think is actually probably worth it. Like the 3 points to get the harpoon instead of the second POW 16 and then sustained attack is not bad.
I mean, you lose an initial, but you do gain threat range.
Yeah, well, and
also, you gain effective threat for the rest of your army too, because you snag something in and then the Slayer beats it up.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's inexpensive. I don't see any problems with running it. Like, it just seems like a very solid jack for its cost.
It's only Mat 5, but you can boost.
Yeah, Mat 7 though. So I mean,
yeah, no, Mat's good.
But I mean, if you're relying on harpooning something like high value in, yeah, it could be dicey.
I mean, you're gonna power up and get it extra focus anyway, so you might as well. If you're not running, you might as well boost a hit. Just yank that shit in.
That's true. So I mean, I think that the warjacks that come in here are pretty ubiquitous. They're pretty good for any kind of list that you're going to end up building out of Cryx.
They're pretty self-explanatory too. Like,
yeah, it's not like a super complicated. How do I warjack?
How does I shot web?
Exactly. Now, Bane Witch Agathia is interesting, I think, in this box, but by herself, I think she's really cool. In fact, I think she lends some interesting things to the Cryx faction.
See, now, most Cryx players would disagree with you because they're all like, I'm playing Cryx and I used to play things that were only OP.
Now, she's got Dark Shroud, which I think is less relevant because you never want anything in melee with her.
What are you talking about, man? She can assassinate her with herself. She's awesome. She's a cool girl. Isn't afraid of anything.
I don't know about that. But anyway, she's got Ghost Walk, in her spell list, she's got Ghost Walk. So friendly faction model gain Ghostly for a turn, which means that they can advance through terrain and obstacles without penalty, and can advance through obstructions if they had enough movement. So you just walk through stuff.
Yeah, it's pseudo Pathfinder / walk through obstacles, which is cool.
You've got Hellfire, which is interesting. So models disabled by Hellfire can't make a tough roll. Models boxed by Hellfire are removed from play. So
that's all new. Hellfire used to just make a command check.
Yeah. So although normally I'd be like, 3 Fury or 3 Focus, POW 14, I think that because it disables tough and because you RFP, there's some significant uses for.
Yeah, like killing a tough warcaster.
And also when you're arcing through the little dude.
Yeah, it's POW 14. She is a 7 focus caster, so it's not like she's super light on focus.
Yeah.
She can also get infinite soul tokens?
Kind of.
I mean, she's allowed to receive them, so you can have soul trappers or whatever, pick them up, and she doesn't have a limit on the number of souls she can have, so she can have 30 souls.
So I mean, if you could get a couple of soul trappers in there and then murder the shit out of things, get her a bunch of focus. I think walking an Arc Node up near a Warcaster and then spamming Hellfire a bunch of times.
It'll get there a lot of the time. The funny thing is if you play your cards right and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take my Arc Node, my Deathripper, I'm gonna slam your Warcaster with it so he's knocked the fuck down and then out of melee, and then I'm gonna burn the shit out of you with Hellfire.
Yeah, that would work. Hellrot, so target warjack in this Spellcaster battle group gets +2 arm and retaliation. So if it was damaged by an enemy attack during the last round, during maintenance phase, it can move up to 3 inches and make 1 basic melee attack, which is really sweet with something like the Reaper.
Or the Slayer, even.
Or the Slayer. Well, Slayer's the one I meant, actually.
Giving it extra armor and extra threat range is pretty nice.
Well, it brings it up to armor 19, and then
it gives you a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because if you try and deal with it and don't kill it fully at range, it gets closer to you.
Yeah.
And if you do try and kill it, it's got 2 more armor, so it's actually like a Signar Jack, except harder to hit.
That's true. So that's pretty sweet. Parasite, I think, is excellent again with the sort of Hellfire spam idea we're talking about.
Parasite's great in general.
So target model / unit suffers -3 arm and Spellcaster gains +1 arm. I've played a lot of Legion. Parasite's just awesome. It's good for everything.
Yeah.
Also brings your combo strike on the Slayer? Reaper? Slayer up to POW 25, effectively. Vanish, so 1 cost self. You can basically teleport it to anywhere within 3 inches of its current location.
She moves 3 inches.
Yeah. Can only be cast once per activation. That's fine.
But it's important to note that she can move an attack after casting Vanish.
That is true.
Yeah.
And then Shadowfall is her feat. So friendly faction models / units currently in her control range are affected by Ghost Walk, which grants stealth. Additionally,
no. Ghost Walk is ghostly. It's one of her spells.
Okay. Additionally, friendly faction models gain stealth. Yeah, so they get ghostly and stealth.
Yep.
And when a warjack in her battle group ends its activation in her control area, you can immediately place a model anywhere within 3 inches of its current location. So you can sort of stutter step some warjacks.
Yeah.
And then it lasts for 1 round.
So when this was initially spoiled, I didn't think it actually I didn't think it gave them Ghost Walk. That makes this better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And I already thought it was a really solid delivery feat.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we were talking about this a couple of times, actually.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bane warriors no longer have inherent stealth means they're a little less of a scary threat.
Sure.
Which means that people are going to be taking probably less tech against stealth.
Sure.
So when you drop her and a bunch of Banes...
Yeah, well, the thing is, people are evaluating her feat under, Mark II Bane Thralls and evaluating Mark III Bane Thralls as dog shit because they're idiots.
Yeah.
So, a feat that just gives your whole army stealth is pretty good by itself.
Yeah.
And then the fact also makes you immune to free strikes, also makes you not give a fuck about terrain, and then gives your warjacks some dumbass bullshit that they can pull off. We're going to move up, harpoon your guy, slayer your guy, and then we're just going to bounce back out of threat range completely. Okay.
Yeah, let's say you charge up with them, and then you just teleport them into melee with the enemy warcaster.
I mean, you could do that too.
Now they either have to deal with both heavies inside your if you don't assassinate them that turn, you either have to deal with both heavies on your warcaster, or probably die next turn anyway.
And you were saying, you don't ever want to have anything in melee with Agathia. That's not true at all. Fuck you. You throw Parasite on their Warcaster and you charge it. You're hitting it PS 17 effectively.
I mean, yeah, fair.
And then you murder it. You murder the shit out of it.
I mean, if you have that opportunity. But to me, it seems like she's probably going to want to be sort of hanging out in the back lines.
No, clearly. But like that is a thing you can do, is what I'm saying.
I mean, you could also vanish then charge, or charge then vanish.
Yeah, exactly. So she has like non-linear threat.
Yeah, that's true.
And like you could, she's actually kind of capable of charging and murdering a few guys in melee and then blinking back while bringing her warjacks up.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the casters that I can see using Call Soul on her own, in addition to like Gatsby with the teleport, which everyone's gonna say is terrible because it's only 6 inches now. Like,
I think the thing is like, I think the trouble with her, if there is any trouble at all, is that I think she's gonna be a fairly high skill cap.
Sure.
Warcaster. Like, I think that if you're getting to the game and this is your first pickup, I think she'll be great to learn with, but I think that you're also going to have a little bit of frustration in terms of trying to get the most out of her.
Yeah, maybe.
But that being said, I think that she's fantastic. I don't see any... I see only opportunities and potential with her, right?
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, because she has Dark Shroud, if she charges into something, your Slayer hits harder.
It's true.
I mean, you're probably going to want to kill it that turn. Otherwise, you'll have problems. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I mean, because the thing is, if you don't, you're dead.
No, she's still defense 15, probably armor 16 because of Parasite. So it's not like she can't do anything to live. But...
yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're that far up and they have a heavy...
No, man, you're that far up. That's when you're winning the game. You charge their Warcaster and then finish it with the Slayer.
Okay, well, I mean...
or, like, kill their last heavy with your Slayer.
To me, I'm really... I'd be really excited about running a lot of Bane Warriors with her.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like, she's the Bane Witch for a reason.
Oh,
but you don't have stealth anymore.
They do now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also think that because Bane Warriors lost stealth, people are not going to be taking a lot of anti-stealth tech.
Oh, exactly.
So that makes her even better in what I think will be the new meta. And this is all conjecture and guessing, but still.
In a world where there's supposed to be more terrain on the table, giving everything in your army ghostly is far from irrelevant.
That's about all I have to say about her. I'm really excited about her.
Super rad.
I don't know that I'm going to like her more than Gatsby because I've got a special place in my heart for Gatsby.
But Gatsby got nerfed.
I don't care.
Oh, he's so terrible now.
But yeah, anyway. So right immediately after this discussion, as with our previous ones, if you watched any of them, we're going to unbox this wonderful Battlebox. So stay tuned for that now. All right, so let's take a look at the Cryx box. Bam. Look at that. New car smell. All right. So here we go. The Cryx Battlegroup Battlebox unboxing. The convenient slide-out box where we're actually going to be able to reuse the box. Comes with our Rules Digest, very similar to the Mark II one, if you're familiar with that at all. Full color insides. And your basic rules on how to play. So this is available for free in PDF, but I mean...
free rules.
But it is nice to have the print version.
Yeah, man.
We've got our 18-inch laminated paper ruling measuring thing. Or something. Our Cryx introductory
One
guide.
strip to rule them all, and in the inches guide them.
There we go. I like that. We've got the Cryx introductory guide. So this is a booklet that, first it gives you a little bit of a background in terms of the story, especially with the new caster. So like 5 or 6 pages of that.
It tells you why Agathia is such a badass.
It's true. It does have some propaganda in terms of you should buy this thing, you should buy this thing. It's got your battle group tactics. So this goes over what each model, a way to use them, what its purpose is. Some expansion options, how they suggest you grow your force. Although we will be doing a series of videos on that. So we're going to go in increments and kind of give you our suggestion in terms of what you should expand into and why.
So ignore it.
So stay tuned for that. And then, most importantly, it gives you painting information. Now, this is actually really cool. So if you wanted to know how to paint the Cryx as on the box, it tells you what colors you need and how to apply them.
How to make the Purdy Bane Witch and her warjack horde.
Yeah, so if you're new to painting, this is invaluable. If you just want to have a guide as to like what the studio scheme is, this is invaluable. This is just a really awesome addition to the box. One that I wasn't going to be excited about, but am. Then we've got our big ass 24 by 24 inch play mat, basically. It is the same laminated paper as the ruler that comes in this box. And it is double-sided. So the one side gives you a guide as to where you can place your models to correspond with the basic training guide, which we'll show you in a moment. And the other side is just if you want to throw down and beat up your friends. So that's really cool. Here is the basic training guide, which comes with 11 missions on how to learn how to play the game. So, everything from basic stuff like movement to combat mechanics to how to charge to, how ranged combat works, etc.
It's your learn how to play.
Learn how to play guide. Thing. But the thing is, though, I want to say it's more than that, because the learn how to play guides that have come out historically have been like really...
I've never seen a learn how to play guide for War Machine.
They had like a 2-page pamphlet that was like...
Yeah, but it was that wasn't a learn how to play guide. That was like, these are the basic rules, which is like 60% of the rules you need to play. This is actually like step by step how to fucking do the thing.
That's true. So it does actually come with a page that you can either cut out or photocopy, whatever, for the templates, because that's important. And also, in the event that you already know how to use this stuff, you can toss this to a buddy, and they can actually learn how to play the game with just this in the mat, because it comes with sort of generic cards. Just to run through the game mechanics. So very cool. Not super useful if you're a veteran, but if you are somebody who's trying to get other people into the game, or if you don't know how to play, then this is awesome.
Yeah. Spread that addiction.
Yeah. And then we have our... Actually, we'll go through the other stuff first.
Le dice.
Bam. 4 black D6.
Elegant and exceptional.
Ooh.
They're actually not very exceptional and elegant.
They're actually pretty nice dice, and they're full-size dice.
Well,
so
that's not exceptional. That's okay. Like,
I'm just saying they could have been way worse.
They're not gem-encrusted fucking feces of God, okay? Like,
I guess that's true. There are your generic privateer tokens. So it comes with 10 Fury/Focus tokens and 3 spell tokens. So pretty universally useful. Also really nice that they gave you the hard plastic ones, whereas I expected they'd give you like cardboard or nothing.
Sure.
They gave out a lot of nothing before. Sure. So, and then we've got our cards. Huh? Bam, cards.
Man, you're being such a cock tease with the model.
A little bit. The card on the back you can fold into your linear obstacle. So that's actually inside your cards, not part of the other documentation. And then we have the models. So we've got Bane Witch, Agathia.
She's so cool.
She is so cool. And I love the model. And it only has, it's only a 4-piece model, so it's not going to be impossible to build.
What? She's not Denegra too.
Fuck. I don't even know. We're not going to talk about her.
All right. What color are these models, Steve?
These are like a dark kind of green. And the purpose of this, as per Privateer Press, was they wanted you to be able to just quickly identify which force was yours if you just build them and play with them. So
I believe you described this color as something else to me earlier today. What did you call this color before?
Oh, beautiful, vibrant, olive drab.
I believe the word you used, in fact, was shit green.
Pretty close to shit green. So you may want to paint these up sooner rather than later, but it's actually not a terribly ugly color. So well, okay, actually we'll go. Here's your bone chicken.
Yep. Which bone chicken is that, Steve?
I don't know. They're pretty much the arc node.
That's not specific enough, Steve. Which bone chicken is it?
Night Rich?
Nope.
Deathripper?
Yep. There we go.
So
Second try.
Here's your Deathripper. It's like a 50-50. Those are the only two I know.
I mean, there's also the Ripjaw. There's also the Defiler. I don't know if the Defiler is any good in this edition. It was too expensive last one.
Now, this, if you've taken a look at the other ones, this box has a similar issue as to the Kador one in that both of your heavies are contained in the same bag. So you want to be careful, or at least diligent, about making sure you're building the correct with the correct parts.
With these ones, it's really not that hard. Their heads are very obviously different, and their arms are very obviously different.
The point is, you just want to look. You want to make sure that you're paying attention. I mean, worst case scenario, if you have a head swap, like
my suggestion would just be build them one at a time, and if you happen to fuck up and start building a Slayer when you intended to start building the Reaper, continue building the Slayer.
Yeah, that works too. But just be aware of that. It's just something I want new players to be conscious of.
Yeah, like pick up the ribbed horn head and the punchy fists, and set them aside because that's the Slayer. And then get the stabby thing and the draggy thing and the smooth horned head and set those aside. That's the Reaper. They seem to have the same like fucking rad epic death metal collar. So
yeah, I think they're identical otherwise.
Yeah.
It's just the arms and the heads that are different. So it's not going to be like, I don't think people are going to screw them up too much. It's just a matter of being aware.
Yeah. I give our viewers some credit. You know, like I said, I don't think they're idiots.
Whoops.
They're watching our content already.
So that is the Cryx Battlegroup Battlebox unboxing. If you've seen any of the other ones, I've mentioned this a couple times, but I think this is by far the best way for anybody to start the game.
Except the 2-player starter box,
which doesn't exist yet.
Yet.
And I mean, that might be that is the only other purchase that I would consider like maybe being a better first time buy than this.
That's a particular relevance to this one and the Signar one.
Yeah,
because those are the factions contained.
Exactly, and I mean that gives you a unit of Bane warriors, which you'll want.
No, you got it right.
Huh?
You said Bane warriors,
yeah,
not trolls.
I know, I'm getting better. But for now, like this is just such a much better way of starting the game than when we started.
Well, yeah.
The learning material is great. The models are great. The distribution of the models and the stats for the models in this box are great.
Yeah.
The warcaster is great. I have nothing but nice things to say about this one.
Plus, there's German, French, and Spanish on the side of the box.
Ooh. Although the material inside is written in English.
Well, it doesn't matter. They can learn.
Yeah, exactly. In order to play War Machine, make sure to learn English. Although I bet you in Germany or in
no, they have localized cards.
Yeah,
that's why the big leak happened, was localized cards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends all about us, and stay tuned, because what we're going to be doing is this is the first video in a video series that will expand this box into a full-sized army based on our suggestions and justification for the stuff that we're suggesting you pick up.
Yep.
Come check out the Connection Games and Comics. We have the largest selection of War Machine and Hordes miniatures in the Lower Mainland. War Machine Wednesdays and Sundays, with tables and terrain to play your game.